Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room, and of course, I am the sexiest man on all Reddit Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room in the beautiful RVA, Richmond, Virginia. How's everybody doing today? I'm Boom Boom. This is my room, and we're going to be talking a little bit about some professional wrestling. We got a couple big stories coming out here. One, Eric Bischoff no longer with WWE. He multiple outlets are reporting he was fired earlier this week. I believe it came up on Tuesday. Um, this is huge. He's only had been back with the company for about 4 months. It was something that was named. He was named the leader of the SmackDown. He was going to be in charge of their transition onto Fox Sports. And Paul Heyman was going to be in charge of the transition or the new direction for Monday Night Raw. Some people are acting like they're not really shocked. I kind of am. I It's a little confusing to me because originally I thought the whole Bischoff thing was they had Bischoff was going to be like a figurehead, but that doesn't make sense to me because it's like, well, why would WWE basically need to hire like a figurehead? Do they need to have someone to kind of ease the network? But I'm like, well, why would they need ease the network fears? They just gave them a shit ton of money to put their show on their network. So I mean, the deal was already done. And then I thought, well, maybe they needed a scapegoat. And I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense because SmackDown's only been on um, Fox Sports for 2 weeks now, going on three. And it's like, yeah, they dropped a little bit in the ratings. Like they dropped, I know they lost like 1 million viewers, which is a big, a lot of viewers. But I mean, you don't just fire somebody for 2 weeks, doing something like that. At first, and I thought, well, maybe it was just something to get some publicity, but that doesn't make sense because Bischoff moved. He moved from, I believe he had a ranch in Wyoming, and relocated to Connecticut. And and, and let me tell you something. From someone who has moved cross country like twice, that shit ain't cheap. It's a fucking pain in the ass. And if you never have to do that in your life, consider yourself blessed. That's just one of the worst things that can fucking happen. Anyway, hopefully he can. I don't know if his ranch had sold or not, so hopefully it didn't. So that way he can uh, maybe get back, moved back. His kids are grown, so it's not like a big issue there with like having to like change schools and everything for the kids. Um, so I don't know, but one of the things that's everything that's baffling me here is that nobody, at least I haven't heard anything that Bischoff had actually done. Like I have no clue. Like nobody's told me like a storyline he's pitched or a direction he's been going or people he's particularly fond of. I mean, we're kind of fond right now. Like for example, like over with Raw, there's been some people saying, okay, well, there's been some stuff on Raw that's got Paul Heyman's fingerprints on it. Paul Heyman's big on Cedric Alexander. He's big on Buddy Murphy. So look for them to get a little bit of a push. Okay, we heard stuff like that with Heyman, but I never heard anything like that with Bischoff. And then I never heard anything about any directions. I never heard any about him doing anything. So it's like, what the hell has this guy been doing for 4 months? What's been going on? And then we find out that Bruce Pritchard, and if you're over the age of 30, you remember him most likely as Brother Love. If you're under the age of 30, you're mainly going to remember him as like a figurehead in TNA back during right around the Hogan Bischoff era. And also when they rebranded is Impact, like right when they, said TNA is, in fact, he was the one on TV that said TNA is dead. This is now Impact Wrestling. That's the guy, that's who we're talking about now. Bruce Pritchard, from what I understand, was him and Ed Koskey were already writing the show. They're already running the show. They were handling this, that, and the other. So I mean, he's just, I guess it's just formal now. So that's kind of, it's crazy here with the wrestling business. Where the hell is my other? Where the fuck is my shit? Sorry, I just dropped something here. So you're gonna have to come with me here on a ride, okay? All right. Normally, I'm trying to get things fixed up here with the stream here, and there's never a good time to do wrestling because there's as soon as I mention like one thing, there's like 20 other things happening right now. But one of the things I do want to talk about is King of Pro Wrestling. Give a quick review of it. So, of course, you ask the questions: win, loss, or tie. I'm gonna give it a yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give it a win. I'm gonna give it a win, maybe a weak win. There were some things that were out of their power. For example, there was a typhoon. Uh, and by the way, Dave Coco is absolutely fine. He checked in from it. In fact, I talked to him today, as a matter of fact. He's still streaming over on Twitch. So, if you have Twitch or don't, sign up for it and go over and subscribe to Coco's Twitch channel, KocoSports. Anyway, they had a typhoon over there, and uh, and because of that, John Moxley and Zack Sabre Jr. were unable to appear, so New Japan had to redo the card a little bit. I think it worked out a little bit in their favor, but because of that, John Moxley was stripped of the IWGP United States Championship. And from what I'm reading, this is all completely legit. It wasn't like, okay, they're just kind of using that as a cover to strip him of the title because of the tension with them and AEW. No, from what I've been reading, that was actually legit. But the reason why they stripped him of the championship, because New Japan has this rule, and there's no exceptions to it. If you're promoted or advertised for a title defense, and for whatever reason you don't make it, you get stripped of the championship. I mean, it's just the way that it is. That Chris Charlton mentioned that there was a time where Ishii got stripped of the, no, excuse me, Makabe got stripped of the never open weight championship because he had the flu. So I mean, this is, and I figured they might make an exception because this is an act of God. A typhoon. I mean he has no power over that. He has no control over the airlines. Flying in and out of Japan, but New Japan's like rules are rules, so they had to redo the entire card. And the opener, we saw the return of El Desperado and Economaru taking on Roppongi 3K. Bad guys went on that one. Good to see Despy back. He actually won. He got the pin for his team, and plus they're going into the junior tag team tournament, so some good momentum from them. That was one of the changes on the cards. You had Tanahashi and Hanma. They defeated Makabe and Toru Yano. It's kind of a throwback there. They made a mention of this was like the 20th anniversary of Hiroshi Tanahashi's first match. Uh, Lij, Naito, and Shingo defeated Doki and Taichi. Next, this one I was kind of disappointed in. It was Minoru Suzuki. He beat Battle Liger. And it was like, what are you talking about? Well, remember at the last event, remember because Suzuki's been hounded ever since Liger announced his retirement. Suzuki's been hounded. I mean, he's just been taunting him and chasing after him and beating him on him mercilessly. And finally, Liger had enough at the last event. He took off his mask. He was Kenshin Liger. And, he damn near tried to kill fucking Liger or Suzuki. He charged him with a fucking spike. Suzuki moved out of the way at the last second. That spike went right through the table where Suzuki was leaning up against. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be a bloodbath. And instead, we got Battle Liger, which is, if you're wondering what that is, it's just a different shape of the mask, and he was going shirtless. And he tried to turn it into an MMA bout. There was numerous references to their MMA bout back in '02. I think it was Kensuke Sensaki was supposed to take on Suzuki, but he had an injury, had to go, had to leave. But he wanted a wrestler, so Liger stepped in last minute. Of course, he got destroyed by Suzuki within 2 minutes. And this was kind of talks and throwbacks to that. Uh, anyway, Suzuki wins that one, but he does give a little bit of a bow to Liger. And there's going to be a retirement match, actually a couple of retirement matches for Liger at Wrestle Kingdom. I'd like to pull that up, but I'll get that at different time. I was a little disappointed in it because I was expecting Kenshin Liger. I was expecting an all-out brawl, and that's not what I got. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't what I was expecting. It turned into like a faux MMA bout, which I kind of didn't like. It just kind of it just, I mean, like I said, it wasn't bad, just not what I was expecting. Let's see. Will Ospreay beat El Phantasmo to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. That was fucking awesome. Probably the match of the night, in my opinion. Next, we had it was chaos. It was Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi. They defeated Jay White, Kenta, and Yujiro Takahashi. I just skipped that one because I'm just not interested in it. I mean, they just to me that just match seemed out of place where it was put on the card. Next, we had the certificate on the line here. Kota Ibushi successfully defended against Evil, and then we had in the main event, Okada defeated Sonata in just under 40 minutes. I kind of okay. The Ibushi Evil match was really good. Everybody talks about like Sonata, and he is a great talent. I'm going to get to him in just a second, but I think Evil is kind of undervalued in the eyes of the fans. If you watch that match, I mean, he does. I mean, he does an absolutely amazing job. He's just as solid as anybody else in that company. I just hope he doesn't get in like an Ishii position where he's the guy who can go. He's the go-to guy. He's a utility player who you can put him in a tag. You can put him in a multi-man. You can put him one-on-one. He can do anything. He can go anywhere. He's got all the skills, but for whatever reason, the company doesn't have that faith on him and pull the trigger on him to, be the top guy. I hope he doesn't fall into that, but I do think and again, this is no disrespect to Sonata, but I do think these two are on equal level. I just don't think as far as like mainstream or fans, whatever goes. I don't think for whatever reason Evil has gotten that kind of respect. So, but at least I see it. At least in my opinion, I think he is. And as far as the Sonata Okada match, to me there was never any doubt on this one, and I think they drug it out in my opinion just to kind of drag it out. I think they maybe could have done something different. Maybe they could have it's more of a WWE thing, but maybe added some kind of gimmick or something to the match. I mean, I'm not saying like a cage match or something, but just a ladder match. I mean, just something to kind of spice it up because these two have gone one on one like 8 times now, and Okada's won 7 of them. I thought maybe the only thing they could do to make him save face would be to have Sonata go to the time limit draw, but that again, if they go that route, you put now it doesn't make sense because okay, what do you do? They went to a time limit draw. You're gonna have to have them fight again. I mean, what happens now? So I think they had to just had Sonata lose again. At this point, I think these two need to kind of distance themselves from each other, and I think New Japan would be wise to kind of. I would keep these guys separate. I would not have these guys touch for. I would have them touch for at least a calendar year, at least. I mean, if you're going to put them in like hell, if you put them in the same tournament, like if you put them in the New Japan Cup, I would have them in totally opposite ends of that bracket, so that and have at least one of them lose before they got to the other, because I wouldn't want to see them tied up there. If they're in the G1, they both one needs to be in the A block, the other needs to be in the B block. These two do not need to touch each other for at least another year because they've just run this match into the ground. I mean, this is like we're getting like Del Rio, Sheamus levels of ridiculous. We're getting Chavo Guerrero, Hornswoggle levels of ridiculous here, and especially and it's getting like and it's completely lopsided. And one thing I forgot to mention here is since Moxley was not able to, I almost forgot here by the way, since Moxley was unable to make the show, they made a match between Juice Robinson and this time Lance Archer. This wound up being a no disqualification match. Lance Archer gets the win, becomes the new IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, his first ever major singles title. I mean, this guy has wrestled in TNA. This guy has wrestled in WWE. He's wrestled in New Japan. He has wrestled everywhere, and it's hard to believe, man. After all these years, man, this is his first major singles title. So congratulations to him, well deserved. And I do, and I do think it's the right move. I definitely think it was the right thing to do because okay, if Juice Robinson gets it, so what? That makes him a 3-time champion. Archer, at least with him, I mean, we got some chances for some fresh matchups. I want to see what he can do. He actually had a pretty good G1, and he's been a loyal soldier. I mean, he stayed in the company when his partner left. So I think this is kind of a reward, and I think it's overdue. Well, actually, I don't think it's overdue. I think it's well deserved. Is probably the right words that I should use. Otherwise, I'd say check it out. Now we're going into the junior tag team tournament. In fact, they just started their the first night of it here. I'm actually to be honest, I'm really disappointed by this junior tag tournament. With the way they've got everything set up, I probably would have just done single elimination rather than round robin at this point. It's just like mutt teams put together. I think they put Carl Fredericks and TJP. They put Unimura and Tiger Mask together. They imported a team from CMLL, which I think they should have done. They got the Birds of Prey. They got, which is Osprey and Eagles. You've got Roppongi 3K, and of course you got Bullet Club, the champions. I mean, it's not good. As far as who wins this one, I mean do you put the belts on Birds of Prey or do you put it back on Roppongi 3K again? I don't know where you go with this. I think they really need to take a long, hard look at the junior tag division, and they either need to get cracking on it, or I hate to say it, but you're gonna have to combine both divisions to have a singular tag division do a title consolidation match. Combine the junior and the heavyweight tag titles together and just do one thing. Let's see, Forsaken. So, oh yeah, I'm good. Forsaken. Good to see you again. By the way, thank you very much. Um, and yes, Coco is doing well. Hopefully, I did not. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. Forsaken. My bad. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to think. Heavy J, he says, "What do you think of NWA Power?" I watched the first show last week. I have not had a chance to watch this week's because there's always some kind of wrestling show going on. I mean, there's Power that dropped last night or early this morning. I got to check that out. I got to check out this junior tag tournament. I got to watch AEW tonight as well as NXT. I didn't do an NXT review. I haven't done a WoW review, but I'm only one person. And I'm waiting on Coco to actually fucking watch wrestling so we can actually do these shows together. But he wants to keep playing on Twitch, and I got tired of letting down the internet infantry, so here I am doing the best I can. And invitation's still open for anybody who wants to, join me on this. Just send me an email, boomboom418 at yahoo.com, and let me see what you can do, and we'll see about setting you up. And that goes for anybody. If anybody think you can do this, or think you can do it better, or want to just give it a shot, go for it. You think I knew what the fuck I was doing when I first started doing this shit back in 2006? Fuck no. You had to learn as you go. You just got to want to do it. But anyway, I want to thank the Internet Infantry for joining me. There's a lot of wrestling to watch. It's definitely the golden age. If I don't get to your particular brand, if I don't get to the show because I didn't get to do a show on NXT, to sum it up, I give it a win. I thought it was good. Ratings keep dropping with them, but despite it all, I still think they have an enjoyable show. I do think getting it out of Full Sail will be the best thing for them. So there you go. That was my NXT review for last week. Now I got to watch it tonight. So if you got any questions or comments, just put them down there in the comment section, and I will talk to you later. So this is Boom Boom saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.